Welcome again, everybody. My name is Brian Bliss, and I'm a teacher of mindfulness-based stress reduction. And I'm very pleased to be joining you all here at the York Public Library. And let's get started now with just a little practice to arrive and get settled in. And what I'll ask you to do is to find yourself in a comfortable position if you're not already. You could be sitting, you could be lying down, you could be really standing up, anything that's comfortable. But the important thing is to take the opportunity to get as comfortable as you can in your body for a few minutes. Um, we'll be coming up close in a way to the sensations of being in a body. So the kinder we can be to ourselves about how we are in our bodies, the easier that will be. So once you've found yourself in a comfortable position, if you're seated, you could have your back be reasonably upright, loose, but upright. And let's begin. And you can have your eyes open or closed for this. But let's begin just by becoming aware of the sensations of our bodies as they contact whatever it is that we are supported by, whether that's a chair or the floor or a couch, whatever you happen to be on. And just bringing awareness to the very direct physical sensations. So the way in which perhaps your feet or the back of your legs or your buttocks or the small of your back, whatever it is that might be in contact with the surface that's supporting you, just tuning in for a moment and feeling that. You might notice if there's any place in your body that is doing any extra work in terms of holding you where you are, and simply allowing any areas that might be working a little extra to soften, inviting them to release. And now, we're bringing awareness to the simple act of breathing. If this is a comfortable place to rest your attention, you can bring your noticing to the sense of breathing. And if it's more comfortable to remain with the sensations of your body as it's contacting the surface supporting it, then you can stay with that. But if the breath is a comfortable place to bring your attention, perhaps just noticing how it is in your body at this time to feel the air coming in and the air going out again. And wherever the sensations of breathing are most vivid and alive for you, that might be in the nostrils, if you're breathing in through your nose, or perhaps at the mouth. You might notice the way in which breath affects sensations on the lips, perhaps noticing the breath at the throat. Maybe noticing if there are any differences in the quality of the breath as it comes in, perhaps a little cooler, and as it goes out, perhaps a little warmer. You might notice the way in which breathing affects your torso, your chest. You might notice it at the rib cage. As the breath comes in and our rib cage expands a bit, and as the breath goes out, the rib cage will have a tendency to contract a bit. Just noticing the sensations of breathing in and breathing out. And perhaps you notice the sensation of breathing most in the abdomen, at the belly. No need to change the breath in any way, but just noticing. And again, if the sensation of being in contact with the surface that's supporting you is more comfortable, then you can go with that instead. And you can always bear that in mind. I'll lead from the breath in this practice primarily. But you may notice, if you're noticing the breath at the belly, that when we breathe in, the abdomen expands, almost like a balloon filling up with air. And as we breathe out, it contracts. And of course, as long as we're alive, the breath is always with us, always available, and always a way to tune in a way to the present moment. The breath is always moving. It's always something that we can notice. And I'd like to invite you now to move attention from breathing down into your feet. Sensations in your feet. You can perhaps notice any sensations in your toes. The big toes and the pinky toes and the toes in between. Just noticing if there's anything that you can pick up here in terms of sensations. It might be tingling or numbness or moisture. Coolness or warmth, whatever's here. Perhaps not noticing any particular sensations in that area, just observing that. And drawing your attention now to sensations in the bottoms of the feet, the balls of the feet, the arches and heels, the tops of the feet. And expanding that awareness now to include the ankles. Just becoming aware of any sensations in the ankles. This complex joint that does so much for us. Seeing if there's anything to be noticed in this region. And widening the lens of attention to encompass the whole foot and ankle on each of your legs. So both feet and ankles now. And perhaps inviting a sense of breathing, as if you could breathe all the way down into your feet. You can imagine if you could breathe in to your foot and out from your foot, just noticing what that's like. And inviting attention now to move up the legs, including the lower legs, the shins in front and the calf muscles in the back, aware at the level of the skin and within the lower legs, the level of the muscle and even the bone. Perhaps there's something to be noticed here. And perhaps not. Inviting attention now to move up the legs further to the knees. Noticing the kneecaps in the front and the soft folds of the knees in back, the sides of the knees, and deep within the knees themselves. And if at any point in this meditation you find that sensations might be uncomfortable, just noticing that and inviting a sense of curiosity and friendliness to that experience to the extent that that's possible. And expanding awareness now to include the upper legs, the thighs, the fronts of the upper legs and the backs, the sides, inside the upper legs, all the way out to the level of the skin. And widening the lens of attention now to include the entire legs and feet, the thighs and knees, lower legs, ankles, the feet all the way out to the toes, just holding the legs and feet in awareness as a whole right now. And if you like the experiment of imagining breathing into different parts of the body, you could invite the breath or a sense of the breath to go into these areas as well. Whole legs and feet. Just noticing. And inviting attention now to move to the pelvis, including the hips. And the lower part of the spine, the tailbone, the sacrum. noticing the organs in this region, any sensations that you might be picking up here, or once again, perhaps no sensation, just noticing. And moving up the body once again, this time to the navel area, the lower belly and the region between the pelvis and the rib cage. Just noticing, perhaps picking up once again any sensations of breathing that might be available here. Inviting attention to move to the lower back, an area that for many of us can sometimes take on a little bit of tension. Noticing if that's the case for you right now, perhaps inviting a softening in this region. Perhaps even inviting the breath into this area. Just noticing what's there. And moving up now to include the center of the chest, the rib cage, protecting our lungs and heart, other vital organs here. Just noticing what is available to be known in this area of our bodies. Perhaps again, noticing what it's like to breathe as the air comes into the lungs, as the air moves out of the lungs. Perhaps picking up any sensations that might be available in the heart. You might notice the pulse here. As our heart and lungs work together, keeping this process of breathing and circulation. Perhaps a sense of appreciation for this vital region of our body. And moving awareness now to the back of the central region of the torso. Perhaps tuning into the sense of the spine as it's holding us up. And the intricate system of nerves that are running through this spine. Noticing now sensations in the upper part of the torso, around the collarbone and the front parts of the shoulders. And inviting awareness as well to circle around to the back in this area, the upper regions of the back, the shoulder blades, the spine in this area, the tops of the shoulders. And this too is a region that for many of us can carry some tension. And again, noticing if that's the case for you in this moment. And whether it is or isn't, it can always feel good to invite a sense of softening in this area. Perhaps inviting the breath or a sense of the breath to move into this region. And expanding the lens of attention once again here to include the entire torso, from the pelvis to the belly and lower back, the central part of the chest and center of the back, the upper chest and the upper back. Taking it all in at once in awareness to the extent that it's available in this moment. Perhaps as we're proceeding with this meditation, you may notice that your mind from time to time goes and decides to pay attention to other things. This is part of what our minds do. And when that happens, simply inviting the attention to return to wherever we are in this guided meditation. And if at any point sensations become too intense, you can always return to a sense of the breath or the contact of the body and the surface that's supporting it. And bringing awareness back to the shoulder area. Specifically now, the shoulder joints, the place where the arms connect to the body here. Just encircling this with your attention at this point. And moving down now, both arms to include the upper arms. And the elbows, the inner and outer aspects of the elbows. And the forearms, the lower parts of the arms here. Just noticing what might be able to be sensed in this region of your body at this moment in time. Moving on to noticing the wrists. Perhaps picking up here any sensations of pulsation, anything else that might be present. And inviting attention now to travel into the hands, all the way out to the fingertips of both hands, and noticing the inner aspects of the fingers and the backs of them, back of the hand, the palms of both hands, and the thumbs. And inviting that lens of attention once again to expand to include the hands, the wrists, elbows, upper arms, all the way up to the shoulders once again. And now, inviting attention to the neck, the front of the neck and the back of the neck, the sides. Noticing the throat here. Perhaps again, sensing the air as it moves in and out. And drawing attention up from the back of the neck to the back of the head. Noticing any sensations that can be picked up in this region. And to the top of the head. And down to the forehead. Perhaps smoothing with your imagination the forehead, allowing this area to soften and relax. Noticing the eyebrows and the space between the eyebrows. Noticing the temples and back toward the ears. Noticing the outer ears and the inner ears. Perhaps appreciating the sense of sound. Drawing awareness now inward toward the eyes, the eyelids, eyelashes, the eyeballs themselves resting in their sockets. Noticing whatever's here. And again, perhaps if there's any tightness in this area or anywhere else, just inviting it to relax and soften. And becoming aware now of the cheeks and the nose, the bridge of the nose, the nostrils, perhaps noticing air as it's moving in and out here. If you're breathing through your nose, back again to the mouth, including the lips and the teeth and gums, the tongue, the roof and the floor of the mouth, and down into the jaw, noticing the hinge joint, the back of the jaw, perhaps picking up sensations in the lower part of the jaw, the chin, and then down once again to the throat. And allowing the spotlight of your attention again to increase, to expand here, to include the whole face and head and neck, and right on down through the rest of the body, shoulders, arms and hands, the torso, the back and the front, the sides of the torso, the inside and outside. Perhaps noticing the space between the arms and the torso, the armpits. So the back and the chest and the belly, the pelvis. And then down into the legs once again, the upper legs and knees, the lower legs, ankles, feet. Becoming aware now of the body as a whole, from head to toe, down the arms, all the way out to the hands and the fingertips. Just noticing the body as a whole. And if the experiment of inviting the breath into various parts of the body is one that is resonating with you, you can imagine that the breath is moving into all parts of your body and out of all parts of your body, as if we could breathe right into the cells of every part of our body, which, of course, in fact, we do this. So perhaps just inviting a sense of that. As we invite oxygenated blood to come and nourish all parts of us with each breath in, and removing the waste products of metabolism out through each out-breath. Perhaps, once again, just noticing, perhaps there's a sense of appreciation for everything that our body does for us. And noticing how it's possible to take the time to bring something back to our bodies, so to speak. And that is in the form of our attention. Bringing a kind of friendly curiosity to the detailed sensations of being in a body can be a tool that we can use at any time. as a sense of grounding us in the present moment, perhaps reminding us of the solidity of our being. We're in touch with the earth in some way, perhaps feeling a sense of connection to the earth, and that the earth is holding us up. Very little that we have to do, really. And perhaps appreciating yourself for being willing to look at your physical sensations in this level of detail and holding it in your awareness. And as we prepare to draw this practice to close in a moment, I will ring a bell 3 times. And as I do so, you can invite your attention to move from the inner experience of getting up close to physical sensations, and slowly, slowly, on your own time, returning attention to notice what is around you. If the eyes have been closed, as you're ready, gently allowing them to open. And I'm inspired by Rich and Barbara's stretches. That sounds like a good idea. Any stretching, any movement that you'd like to do? As we take in the people and forms and shapes in front of us, and just taking your time to return to a more outward focused attention. And in a moment, I would like to see if anybody would like to share anything about their experience of this particular meditation. It could be positive or negative or neutral, just anything at all that you noticed in your own experience of what that was like for you. Of course, nobody's obligated to say anything, but if you would like to share, I would invite you to do so. So at this point, unless anybody would like to say anything, I do have another thing that I would like to do here. Okay, so let's see. You can hold on one second. I'm going to pause or mute myself for a moment. Okay, so I'd like to, as we bring the session near to the end here, I'd like to invite you to a, a short loving kindness practice. And we'll start by allowing ourselves to send good wishes to ourselves. A lot of times, this might not come easy to some of us, many of us, to just take a moment to invite some kind thoughts into your experience of this moment. And I'm going to offer some phrases here. And if the words that I say are not ones that resonate with you, please do feel free to substitute in your own mind words that are more suitable for you in this moment. And so you can approach this as an experiment. No need to generate anything in particular, but simply seeing if it's something that has an effect on you. Beginning with this one, I'll offer 4 phrases. Beginning with this one, may I be safe and protected from harm. May I be safe and protected from harm. May I be safe and protected from harm. May I be as healthy as possible in this moment. May I be as healthy as possible in this moment. May I be as healthy as possible in this moment. May I be at peace. May I be at peace. May I be at peace. And finally, may I live with kindness and ease. May I live with kindness and ease. May I live with kindness and ease. And with a practice like this, we can offer phrases like this to ourselves, and we can expand the circle to include others as well. People that we care for deeply, people that we don't know particularly well, and even people that we have a hard time with. And we'll just go through each of these phrases again, including all beings. I'll just say each of them once as we wrap up with this. May all beings be safe and protected from harm. May all beings be as healthy as possible in this moment. May all beings be at peace. And may all beings live with kindness and ease. May it be so. And I will again ring this bell as we bring our session toward a close. And as you're ready, if they're not already open, you can open your eyes, looking around once again, taking in the image or images in front of you. And I would like to thank all of you for your practice today. My work is at blissmindfulness.com. If you'd like to drop me a line, happy to hear from you.